taken by a static camera set up by the owner of this home, who had been repeatedly experiencing strange events such as moving objects and misplaced objects throughout their home. If you look closely at the coffee table, you notice the remote seemed to move to the right on its own. Following that, you see the TV turn on. If you pay closer attention to the TV, you'll notice a shadow moving from right to left, with no people or objects present to cast that shadow. This event seems very peculiar. Let's take a closer look at this and analyze some of this activity. Here it can be seen the shadow passing from the left to the right. The reflection in the TV shows you the placement of the couch and the table. Notice that the shadow being cast appears to be walking between the table and the couch. At this point, we see the remote gently slide to the right. The TV then turns on, eliminating the possibility of this being a pre-recorded video. Some strange rolling white static seems to be playing on the TV during the duration of this clip. And finally, we see the same shadow move from right to left, walking the same path between the table and the couch that we saw earlier. The source of this video is unknown, just something I found interesting while cruising the dark depths of the internet. Paranormal activity enthusiast that we use from time to time on Mindseed to go through our footage and find things that we may have missed during our investigations. In this video, it appears as if a middle-aged woman is out during the evening watering her plants. If you look in the bottom left of the screen, you see a strange figure appear. This figure standing there, motionless, seems to be the shadow from someone who is possibly standing out of frame. But what we're about to witness as she walks along the flower bed while watering her plants seems to lend itself to maybe another explanation for the phenomenon we're experiencing. The shadow, attached to no other objects or people, seems to follow her. The figure appears to be at least semi-transparent. Notice the gravel that you can see through the base of the figure. As she turns around, she faces her flashlight directly at the figure. Notice how the dark figure doesn't disappear when in direct light, nor does the outline of the figure distort when the flashlight is shined upon it. What we see next is the figure begin to follow her, staying far enough behind as if it doesn't want to be noticed, but moving completely independently. This video was taken on a cell phone by an employee of this hospice who was all alone one night when he began hearing noises from what he assumed to be a vacant hallway. Upon further investigation, he opened the door to peer down the hallway when he notices a figure peeking out of a doorway in what appears to be a playful manner. Upon closer inspection, you can see the figure, as it appears, it begins to flicker, as if it's some sort of projection. As it steps into the hallway, you'll notice that it appears to be semi-transparent. The neck and head of the figure seem to be elongated, in what looks like some type of earthworm Jim fashion. As we watch this video, we can only imagine the kind of ice-cold fear coursing its way through this employee's veins. To be there alone at night, definitely not for the faint of heart. Morozov. In recent months, he's become well known for investigating some very creepy, very haunted locations. and also for his use of very unorthodox yet very creative devices to assist him in detecting paranormal phenomena, such as this EMF and motion detector that he's retrofitted inside of a porcelain doll. It appears that he's all alone in this house as he sets up his static cameras. He places them in position to capture all angles of the room around him while he's sleeping. He then gets himself ready for bed, jumps into his sleeping bag, and falls asleep. Hours after he's fallen asleep, the static cameras begin to capture some very interesting activity. Watch the motion of the cup. It rolls around on the table in a controlled fashion as if someone has an open palm on it, guiding it back and forth. Moments later, the static camera on the opposite side of this wall captures footage of a dining chair sliding across the carpet effortlessly on its own. Then something begins to interfere with the audio of the camera. The wardrobe door then swings open. Having experienced this personally before, I know how disorienting it is. To wake up and subconsciously notice subtle changes in the room around you. Try and put yourself in his shoes and imagine how he's feeling when he wakes up, turns on his flashlight, and reviews the footage.